All right, today we're jumping into a really interesting analysis that ranks the 5 most powerful air forces in the Muslim world. And we're going way beyond just counting planes. We're going to look at the tech, the combat experience, and the big strategic moves that really define air power in this part of the world.
You know, when you think about top-tier air power, your mind probably goes straight to the US, Russia, maybe China. They're the obvious heavyweights, right? But what we're looking at today shifts the focus completely, and it reveals a whole new and very complex balance of power being built in the skies.
So, the analysis we're digging into today comes from a popular breakdown that argues several of these nations have been quietly building some seriously formidable air forces. The ranking we're about to see isn't just about who has the most stuff, it's a mix of high-tech gear, real-world combat know-how, and overall strategic muscle. And the source makes a pretty bold claim. The country that lands at number 1, well, it's probably not the one you're expecting.
Okay, let's get into it. The countdown is on. Let's see who made the list, starting with the Air Force, ranked at number 5.
Kicking off our list at the number 5 spot is the Islamic Republic of Iran Air Force. Now, this is a force that's really been shaped by decades of having to be resourceful, and it has a truly unique collection of aircraft because of it.
So on paper, Iran has a big force, almost 40,000 people and over 300 fighter jets. But look at that other number, its drone fleet, an estimated 700 of them. That right there tells you everything about their strategy. They're making a clear pivot to asymmetric warfare, basically making up for an older jet fleet with a massive, modern force of strike and surveillance drones.
And technologically, yeah, Iran's fleet is like a fascinating time capsule. Because of decades of sanctions, there are just no 5th-generation jets. So what do? They have to rely on keeping these older but still very capable American and Russian planes in the air. We're talking the legendary F-14 Tomcat, the MiG-29, and even the old F-4 Phantom.
Okay, so Iran's strategy is really one born out of necessity. Now, let's look at an air force built on the exact opposite idea, just massive, massive investment. Let's climb the ranks to number 4.
Coming in at number 4 is a real regional powerhouse, the Royal Saudi Air Force. This is a force that's known for one thing above all else: its huge investment in the absolute latest Western technology.
And you can really see that investment in the numbers. With 65,000 personnel and over 850 aircraft, it's a much bigger force than Iran's. The core of it is its 366 fighter jets. But here's the critical part. It's supported by 20 air-to-air refueling tankers. That gives the force incredible range and the ability to project power all across the region.
This shows a completely different philosophy from Iran. The Saudi fleet is overwhelmingly modern. A whopping 80% of its fighters are advanced 4th-plus generation jets. We're talking top-of-the-line aircraft like the Eurofighter Typhoon and several versions of the F-15 Eagle. And looking to the future, the source points out that there are ongoing talks with the US about possibly getting the 5th-generation F-35, which would just be a massive leap in capability.
So, we've seen resilience versus investment. The Air Force that lands right in the middle spot, well, it kind of combines a bit of both, but with a powerful focus on something new: building their own tech. So who takes the number 3 position?
The analysis places the Turkish Air Force at number 3. And this is a nation that's not just buying advanced technology anymore, it's increasingly building its own.
Turkey has another absolutely massive force, with 70,000 personnel and over 1,000 aircraft in total. Now, its fighter jet count might be a little lower than the others, but its drone force is just staggering, an estimated 800 units. That makes it a certified world leader in unmanned aerial warfare, no question. So, while Turkey's current fleet is mostly made up of a huge force of advanced F-16s, the real story here is what's coming next. This analysis puts a huge spotlight on Turkey's incredibly ambitious project to build its own 5th-generation fighter, the Khan. It had a successful prototype test flight in 2024, and it's expected to enter service around 2028. This project is a potential game-changer for the entire region. So just looking at the raw numbers, Saudi Arabia leads this pack in pure fighter jets. But as we've seen, it's not just about numbers. Strategic focus, whether that's on drones or building your own planes, is just as important. Okay, now the competition gets even tougher as we head into the top 2.
Things are really heating up now. The number 2 spot is held by an Air Force with a long, storied history and some truly impressive numbers to back it up.
And that would be the Egyptian Air Force. According to this analysis, Egypt lands at number 2, commanding one of the largest and most diverse air fleets in the entire region.
And the numbers really are impressive. Over 1,100 total aircraft and a massive 450 fighter jets. That gives them one of the biggest fighter forces out there. Plus, they maintain a huge helicopter force of nearly 350, which adds some serious depth to their overall power.
Egypt's core strategy seems to be all about diversification. Its fleet is this fascinating mix of top-tier Western and Russian gear. They're operating everything from the French Rafale and American F-16s all the way to Russian MiG-29s. And what that does is it gives them a uniquely flexible and powerful capability, because they're not dependent on any single supplier.
And now we've arrived at the top spot. Remember, the analysis promised a surprise, pointing to a nation that has used both a unique strategic position and a powerful domestic industry to claim that #1 ranking.
And here it is. According to this analysis, the most powerful air force in the Muslim world is the Pakistan Air Force.
And the numbers are just formidable. The Pakistan Air Force leads in every single key metric we've looked at. The most personnel at over 91,000, the most total aircraft at nearly 1,400, and the most fighter jets by a pretty wide margin with 557. But its top ranking isn't just about being the biggest. It's about something no other country on this list has managed to do.
Here's the deciding factor. According to this analysis, technological independence. Pakistan is the only nation in the Muslim world to have developed and mass-produced its own modern 4.5 generation fighter. That means a jet with advanced electronics and weapons capabilities just a step below a full-on stealth fighter. That jet is the JF-17 Thunder, and this achievement of building it themselves gives Pakistan a strategic edge that is totally unique on this list.
So there you have it. A fascinating look at 5 completely different ways to build air power, blending technology, sheer numbers, and strategic independence. Let's take one final look at how the complete ranking stacks up.
This really gives us the full picture. You've got Pakistan's domestically powered force at #1, Egypt's diverse fleet, Turkey's future ambition with its own jet, Saudi Arabia's high-tech arsenal, and Iran's drone-heavy strategy. Each one of these nations has carved out a truly unique path to air power.
So, this leaves us with a really critical question for the future. With Turkey's KAN fighter on the horizon, possible F-35 sales in the works, and drone tech just evolving like crazy, how different is this list going to look in 10 years? The race for air superiority, as always, is constantly in motion. Thanks for tuning in.